Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to some more Valhelsia 5. Today is a jump back to immersive engineering, and we're going to look at the road to getting to high voltage items and inputs, because we're going to need them, especially for some of the machinery that we're going to be implementing, like this guy right here, which is the crusher, the squeezer. Maybe there's more uses for it, but we'll definitely need it to get to not only the high voltage battery, but also the rods that you need for the arc furnace, which we'll be building a little bit later on. So that's what we're going to be looking at doing today. So let's just go over what we do have to get into what we want to do here. So I've got my my thermoelectrics over here, and we actually need that block there. Interesting. I thought I could get rid of it, but turns out that we need it. So not a problem. We'll just put it back right there. Hopefully the wires don't interact with it. Otherwise, we'll find a different way to mess with it there. But the HV accumulator, this is the battery. These are the accumulators, are the batteries for immersive engineering. To get this, I needed a bucket of redstone acid. I got worried about this at first, but it's just a water and 4 redstones, so wasn't very large at all. 4 treated wood planks, an aluminum plate. You're going to need quite a bit of aluminum for HV stuff, so just be aware of that. A couple of steel, and then the tricky thing was the hop graphite ingot. We'll go over that here in a little bit, because we'll need that for other things later on, making the graphite electrodes. So the battery here, and yes, my things are making it a little bit weird to go with. So hitting the battery will change the inputs and outputs on it, and now they've got a GUI on it. There didn't used to be a GUI, so this is a lot better. So the blue ones are for energy input, the orange ones are for output, and then if there's nothing there, then it does nothing. Hitting shift while you're hitting it will change the opposite side. So I'm going to change the opposite side to energy output, and I'm going to have the bottom side to energy input here. I'm going to use an HV wire connector on there for getting the power in, and I've got a wire relay here just so I don't need to have, because the wire connectors can only take 1 wire at a time, whereas the wire relays can take more than 1 at a time. Now I've got all this locked up inside this box because we're not going to want to be touching these wires once we get it all hooked up. So we'll just take a look at the recipes for these guys quickly. Either insulating glass or slag glass. I use the slag glass because that's just cooked slag that we got out of our blast furnace. But if you wanted to make the insulating glass, you'll need glass plus iron dust in an alloy kiln to make that stuff there if you need it for other recipes. And the recipe for the HV wire connector is just 3 aluminum and some terracotta, like all of the other connectors there. Just the connectors have different metals used for the electrode part of it. So we'll get that hooked to there first. Okay, they're not going to interfere, so that's good. And let's safely come around back this way. So each of these thermoelectrics with the 2 uraniums and 2 blue ice blocks will produce 42 Fe a tick. Nothing huge. And we'll be getting into better power a little bit later, but just for now, we're getting this done a little bit early to get it all hooked up, and it can just gather energy slowly but surely up to the 4 million, which this one battery will hold. Like I said, we had the output going out the top, of which I will be putting a flux plug onto, so we can move this power around. This guy is in the way, is he? Not there, thank you. Why are you not going in the middle? I see why. Because we can see here this is going to connect. These connect to these machines just fine, and I was using them over there as well. I don't know why the plug isn't connecting to. Okay, get off the high voltage wires, please. Good sir, why will you not connect to there? Oh, I see why. I've got an invisible light there from Ars Nouveau. So let's break that. That'll fix that issue. And we'll actually start this off as the IE network. Oh, I got to hit the create at the bottom. I see. And we'll make it gold, I guess. So we'll put that onto the IE network. And there we go. We now have power coming in that we can distribute around wirelessly because we've got the flux networks. Otherwise, we'd have to have those wires running all around our base. And then I think at the end of the day, I'll be switching this a little bit so I can get the wires hooked up to these poles, and you'll be able to see a more practical application of that. But as I mentioned, the road to get to that HV battery required the hop graphite, which is a cooked hopite graphite dust. The only way to get this is in the industrial squeezer. And to get the coke dust itself, the only way to get that was through the crusher. So we'll take a look at those multi-blocks here in the book because they were pretty straightforward but a little bit complicated at the same time. So the squeezer required these items here. The wooden barrels are just treated wood planks and wood slabs. And I'm going from bottom to top here. Fluid pipes we made in this last episode there, so that's straightforward. Steel fence, just look it up in JEI, pretty easy. The engineering blocks, steel scaffolding, and a piston. And you can twist this around however you like to get a better view on how it was made. And just whenever I got to a spot where I wanted it to, like when I finished this first level, I'd pause it, build it, then do all this other thing. It would be a lot easier if we had that projector I was talking about, but still haven't been able to see that in the book yet. And what am I looking for? Crusher? It's a little bit more complicated. So we needed 10 light engineering blocks for it. Another redstone engineering block, 9 hoppers, some more steel fence, and some more steel scaffolding. Just put together, as I mentioned before, just pausing it each way along the way. And then this red block here is the one that you have to click on with the engineer's hammer to form the block. As usual, these all have a gold dot was where you put the power into them. Just one note is that do not jump into the hopper of the crusher here, because you will take massive damage if you do. Might be an idea for a mob killing machine for you for the current version right now, because we don't have a lot of other ways other than dark utilities if you wanted to get into that stuff for doing mobs, for killing mobs. That was it and all for now. I am just slowly working on places to get all of this into place around my island here so that it looks nice. So I'll be breaking these down and moving them around as before. And I've got this set back up over here because we do need to get more coal coke to get to the because we definitely, like I mentioned before, we'll need to get more of these graphite ingots here, because we need 4 for each of these graphite electrodes for the arc furnace, so we'll need 12 of those in total, and each of these take 8, so that's what, 108 or 102? 8 times 4. Sorry. 4 times 8 times 3, so 12 times 8, 106. No, 104 pieces of coal, coal coke that we need to get to get the arc furnace up and running. So something to think of if you're going to move forward getting into that. So I do appreciate you all for checking out the episode, and we will see you in the next one.